Welcome back today. In this video, we are diving into the fascinating world of British coins to explore the top 4 most valuable coins of the United Kingdom among the denominations of 10 pence, 2 shilling, 50 pence, and 1 penny. Each of these coins has its own unique history, rare varieties, and highly sought-after mint marks that make them valuable to collectors. Whether you're new to coin collecting or already a dedicated numismatist, these examples show just how incredible the UK's coinage history really is. Let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 10 new pence coin from 1970, specifically in fine condition. This coin has intrigued collectors for decades, not only for its design but also for its place in British currency history. Whether you are a seasoned coin collector or someone who stumbled upon this piece in your pocket change or collection, stay tuned because we'll cover its history, unique features, rarity, and what it could fetch in today's auction market, especially when converted into dollars. The 10 new pence coin was first introduced in 1968 as part of Britain's transition from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to the decimal currency system. By 1971, decimalisation was fully implemented, but the coins dated 1970 were not released into circulation. Instead, they were struck exclusively for proof sets, marking the final year before the big currency shift. Because of this, any genuine 1970 dated 10 new pence you see comes from a collector's proof set, not from circulation. This historical significance adds to the appeal and value of the coin today. The 1970 10 new pence coin is made from cupronickel, giving it that distinctive silver-like appearance. It weighs 11.31 grams and has a diameter of 28.5 millimeters. On the obverse, it features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Arnold Machin, one of the most recognizable portraits used on UK coinage. The reverse design, by Christopher Ironside, shows a crowned lion, an iconic symbol of British strength and heritage. These design elements make the coin instantly recognizable and highly collectible, even among those new to coin collecting. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1970 10 new pence is that it was never intended for everyday use. Because it only exists in proof sets, finding one that has been removed and handled extensively is uncommon. Coins in damaged or worn condition are far less desirable to collectors because they lose their original proof-like finish. However, even in fine condition where the coin shows signs of wear but retains most design details, it still attracts attention, simply because of its historical place in the UK's decimal transition. Collectors often seek it to complete their decimal collections, even if the coin isn't pristine. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know: how much is it worth? In fine condition, a 1970 10 new pence coin generally sells for around $321,000 on the open market. However, in higher grades such as uncirculated or proof condition, it can fetch significantly more, often ranging between $114,000, depending on the buyer and demand at the time. Special auctions or well-preserved examples can sometimes reach even higher figures. While it may not make you a millionaire, it is still a coin of real collector interest and value, especially for those building complete UK decimal sets. If you're considering adding a 1970 10 new pence to your collection, here are a few tips. First, always check the coin's condition carefully. Proof coins with original shine and minimal handling marks will always bring in the best value. Second, try to acquire the full 1970 proof set if possible, as these are more valuable as complete collections than as single coins. Finally, when buying or selling, always deal with reputable dealers or auction platforms to avoid counterfeits or misleading sales. Proper storage in protective cases or coin flips will also ensure the coin retains its condition and value over time. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 10 new pence 1970 coin holds a unique place in numismatic history. Though not excessively rare, its limited production as part of proof sets and its role in decimalisation make it a desirable piece for collectors. In fine condition, its market value is modest but still worthwhile, especially when considering its historical significance. If you're a collector, this coin represents more than just metal. It's a piece of the story of Britain's monetary evolution. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shilling coin from 1959, specifically in circulated fine condition. While at first glance this coin may seem ordinary, it carries an interesting background, unique features, and a collector's appeal that makes it worth exploring in detail. We'll uncover its history, what makes it stand out, how rare it is, and of course, what kind of value it can command in today's market, especially at auctions. The 2-shilling coin, often referred to as a florin, was originally introduced in 1849 during the reign of Queen Victoria. It was part of the move toward decimalisation, as its value represented 1/10 of a pound. By the 1950s, this coin was still in use as part of everyday currency in the United Kingdom. The 1959 issue falls within the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who had recently ascended the throne in 1952. These coins were struck in cupronickel, as silver content had been removed from British circulating coinage after 1946. The 1959 2-shilling reflects a transitional period in British numismatic history, bridging the gap between silver issues of the past and the more modern coinage that would eventually be replaced by decimal coins in 1971. The 1959 2-shilling coin features the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Mary Gillick. This effigy was the first definitive portrait of the Queen to appear on coins, giving it a special place in British numismatic history. The reverse of the coin displays a Tudor rose in the centre, surrounded by a thistle, shamrock, and leek representing the 4 nations of the United Kingdom. Encircling this emblem is the inscription FID Def 2 Shillings 1959, with FID Def being short for Fide Defensor, or Defender of the Faith, one of the Queen's traditional titles. The coin's edge is reeded, giving it a textured finish. In circulated fine condition, the coin will show wear on the higher reliefs, especially on the Queen's hair and facial features, as well as flattening of the floral details on the reverse. When it comes to rarity, the 1959 2-shilling is not considered one of the scarcest UK coins. Millions were minted for circulation, making it relatively common compared to earlier Victorian or Edwardian florins. However, collectors still seek it out as part of a complete series of Elizabeth II pre-decimal coinage. In circulated fine condition, the coin loses some of its collector appeal compared to uncirculated or proof strikes. Damaged or heavily worn examples generally attract little interest, but fine-grade coins are often collected by those who want affordable historical pieces. What makes this coin more interesting is its role in a set. Those completing year-by-year collections or building pre-decimal typesets will always have demand for 1959 examples. In terms of auction and market value, the 1959 2-shilling in circulated fine condition is relatively modest. On average, such coins sell for around $434,000 depending on the exact level of wear and eye appeal. If the coin has additional flaws like corrosion or scratches, it may fetch closer to $1. However, coins in higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, can bring in significantly more, sometimes in the $223,000 range. At auction, bulk lots of circulated 2 shillings, including 1959 issues, often sell for wholesale prices, but individual coins in attractive condition can still find buyers willing to pay a premium. If you are considering collecting the 1959 2-shilling or similar coins, there are a few key tips to keep in mind. First, always examine the condition closely, as coins with less wear, fewer scratches, and better detail will hold their value much better over time. Second, consider collecting as part of a complete set of Elizabeth II florins, which can increase both the satisfaction of the collection and its overall worth. Third, store the coin properly in a protective holder to prevent further wear or damage. Lastly, keep an eye on reputable auction sites and coin dealers, as you may come across higher grade specimens at reasonable prices, an excellent way to upgrade your collection. The United Kingdom 2-shilling 1959 coin may not be the rarest or most valuable coin on the market, but it offers a fascinating glimpse into Britain's numismatic history. With its elegant design, its place in the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, and its role in the larger pre-decimal system, it remains a coin worth noting. In circulated fine condition, its value might be modest, averaging only a few dollars, but for collectors, the historical significance and the joy of building a complete collection make it far more rewarding than its price tag might suggest. Whether you're a beginner looking for an affordable entry into coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist filling gaps in your set, the 1959 2-shilling is a coin that deserves a spot in your collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 1979 50 new pence coin. Specifically, we'll be talking about this coin in a dirty or well-worn condition. We'll look into its background, unique design features, how rare it actually is, and of course, what kind of value it might hold in the auction market today in US dollars. If you've got one of these in your change jar or inherited coin collection, you'll want to stick around until the very end. The 50 new pence coin was first introduced in 1969, during the United Kingdom's transition from the old pre-decimal system of pounds, shillings, and pence to the modern decimal system. The coin replaced the older 10 shilling note, offering durability and convenience. By 1979, the 50 pence was already well established in circulation. This particular year falls under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait by Arnold Machin graces the obverse of the coin. The reverse design features the iconic image of Britannia, a long-standing symbol of Britain, holding her trident and shield point. One of the most unique aspects of the 1979 50 new pence coin is its distinctive seven-sided shape, technically known as an equilateral curve heptagon. This made it instantly recognizable both by touch and sight. The obverse, as mentioned, showcases the young profile of Queen Elizabeth II wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. On the reverse, Britannia sits proudly, representing the nation's maritime strength and enduring tradition. The coin is made of cupronickel, giving it both resilience and a silver-like appearance, although many examples today, especially in dirty or circulated condition, show signs of heavy wear and discoloration. Now, when it comes to rarity, the 1979 50 pence is not considered a scarce coin overall. Millions were minted and circulated widely across the UK. However, collector demand can vary depending on condition, with pristine uncirculated examples fetching the most interest. In dirty or heavily worn condition, the coin loses much of its collector appeal. Still, it can carry sentimental and historical value. Some collectors may seek these coins to complete a year set, even if the coin shows significant signs of use. Rarity in this case does not come from the year itself, but rather from the preservation, or lack thereof. So, what is a 1979 50 new pence coin worth in dirty or circulated condition? In most cases, its value on the auction market is quite modest. Typically, such a coin might sell for around $526,000, which is very close to its face value when converted. In auctions, unless it's part of a larger lot of coins, it usually does not exceed a couple of dollars. However, collectors sometimes pay a bit more if they are completing sets or if the coin has some interesting toning, despite being dirty. Truly valuable 50 pence coins are usually those with errors, low mintages, or rare commemorative designs, which is not the case for the standard 1979 issue. If you own a 1979 50 pence coin in dirty condition, don't rush to clean it. Cleaning coins can actually reduce their value even further. Instead, keep it safely stored and, if possible, pair it with other coins from the 1970s to create a more appealing set. If you're aiming to collect UK decimal coins, focus on higher grade examples of this coin, which are much more desirable to numismatists. Additionally, be on the lookout for error coins, unusual toning, or limited commemorative issues, as these are the ones that often fetch significantly higher prices at auction. To sum it up, the United Kingdom 50 new pence coin from 1979 is a wonderful piece of numismatic history that reflects the era of decimalization and the enduring image of Britannia. While in dirty or heavily circulated condition it may not hold significant monetary value, generally just around $1 or $2, it still carries cultural and historical importance. For collectors, it's an accessible coin that helps connect us to the changes in British currency during the 20th century. So, while you may not strike it rich with a 1979 50 pence, it's certainly worth keeping as part of your coin journey. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny from the year 1962. Now, while many collectors tend to chase after coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, it is equally important to understand the value and history of coins that have survived decades in poor or bad condition. The 1962 1 penny is a coin with a rich background, and even when found in damaged or heavily worn states, it continues to spark interest among collectors and historians alike. In this video, we'll explore its history, unique design features, collector demand, and what it might be worth today in the auction market, even when not in the best shape. The 1 penny coin of 1962 belongs to the pre-decimal currency system of the United Kingdom, which was in circulation before the Great Decimalisation of 1971. At that time, £1 was equal to 240 pennies, which made the penny coin a staple of everyday commerce. The 1962 issue was struck under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and is part of the last series of large-sized pennies before they were phased out in favour of smaller, decimal-based coinage. Millions of these coins were minted, meaning they were not particularly scarce when produced. However, as decades passed and usage declined, Finding one today, especially in collectible condition, can be a challenge. The 1962 penny carries some unique and iconic features. On the obverse, we see the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, which was used on coins from 1953 until 1970. This portrait shows the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, a design that is admired for its classical elegance. On the reverse, we find the traditional depiction of Britannia, seated with a trident and shield, a design that had adorned British pennies since the late 19th century. The coin itself is large, made of bronze, measuring 31 millimeters in diameter and weighing around 9.4 grams. Even in a bad condition, the design elements are usually still recognizable, making it a nostalgic reminder of Britain's rich coinage history. When it comes to rarity, the 1962 one penny is not one of the scarcest coins ever minted, as its mintage ran into the hundreds of millions. However, collector interest often extends beyond rarity alone. Many hobbyists seek to build full-year sets of British pre-decimal pennies, and a 1962 penny, even in poor or bad condition, can help complete such collections. Damaged coins, those with heavy scratches, corrosion, dents, or overall wear, naturally sell for less than higher-grade examples. Still, they can appeal to beginner collectors or those who appreciate the historical connection more than the pristine quality. Now, let's talk about the value. In bad condition, the 1962 penny is not considered rare or especially valuable, but it still has some modest market worth. At coin shows, online auctions, or marketplaces like eBay, you can expect a heavily worn or damaged example to sell anywhere between $314,000 EY, depending on the level of damage and how recognizable the details remain. On the other hand, higher-grade examples in fine to uncirculated condition may sell for a few dollars more, but in this video we are focused specifically on poor condition coins. While you shouldn't expect a fortune from a 1962 penny in bad shape, it does hold sentimental and educational value for collectors. If you are interested in collecting UK pre-decimal pennies, even in low grades, here are a few tips. First, always look for coins with legible dates and visible features, even if the coin is otherwise damaged. These are easier to resell and more desirable to collectors completing year sets. Second, when storing coins in poor condition, make sure to keep them dry and away from further environmental damage, as bronze coins can corrode if exposed to moisture. Third, keep an eye out for bulk coin lots. Sometimes sellers include 1962 pennies in mixed collections, which can be an affordable way to acquire multiple dates at once. In conclusion, the United Kingdom one penny from 1962, even in bad condition, represents a fascinating piece of history from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and the era of pre-decimal coinage. While it may not command high prices on the auction market, typically ranging from just a few cents up to around $1, it remains an accessible and popular choice for collectors of all levels. Its iconic design, historical significance, and role in everyday British life before decimalization give it lasting charm. So, whether you found one in a coin jar, inherited it from family, or picked it up in a bulk lot, remember that even the most worn coins carry a story worth preserving. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into rare and historic coins.